AI has demonstrated that it can do semi-compelling screensavers. That's essentially that.
When it was announced that JioHotstar is producing a web series on the Mahabharat that will be fully AI driven, my red flags were on high alert. For it boggled my mind on how fast we are seeing the of art, and it made me even more concerned because it was for an epic like the Mahabharat. We have memories of the episodes on cable television, the show produced by B.R. Chopra, that is revered and celebrated amongst the country. And while there have been other praiseworthy renditions on television, this degradation and downfall with the subject material is nothing short of embarrassing. I am not an extremist when it comes to the presence of AI in our daily lives, as it is an inevitable reality we are going to live with. I don't want to become a fossil who is absolutely averse to the technology finding its way even in art forms, but when the technology itself is at its nascent stage, a fully prompt-driven AI show on our revered gods and sacred text just seems offensive to me. Guillermo del Toro, in his interview snippet that I presented in the introduction of the video, is spot on regarding how this technology, at least at this stage, is only presenting to us glamorized screensavers and just creating a storyboard across episodes merely dependent on these prompts that carry on shots from 4 to 6 seconds where the movement of the characters take the shape of glorified GIFs was an absolute sore to the eye. I have subscribers sending me messages that their parents were watching this show saying that they had no idea that these are AI produced images, that there is absolutely nothing real in the frames. It boggles their mind. But even more so, describing to me on how they progressively got irritated watching the episodes as the elements, I will not call them humans, were absolutely devoid of any emotion or realism. I took this opportunity to watch the 2 episodes that dropped to just see how terrible the product can be, and I can attest to the fact that the vitriol a lot of people are projecting towards this show is not exaggerated at all because the quality is abysmal. Having the courage to drop weekly episodes with this slop baffles me even more, that the makers have such courage that they believe that the people will tune in for such low effort content week in and week out. I may be naive regarding this, but in the process, it made me think about the ethical and moral grounds in which this takes the same space as artistically compelling work, and how it isn't even worthy of being considered to be art. The first 2 episodes of the Mahabharat present the Dwapar Yuga, the curse placed on Mahabhish by Brahmadev to become a mere mortal, and what will happen to his life for the very fact that he was besotted by Ma Ganga. The empire of Hastinapur, the want for King Pratip to have a child, the birth of Shantanu, the condition to agree with all the decisions that Ma Ganga takes as they get married, the future of Hastinapur, specifically on who will become the heir to the throne, as their 8th son, Devvrat, is dearly loved and respected by the empire, but King Shantanu has fallen in love with Satyavati. The prompts in this show are so basic, so pedestrian, that most of the episodes present characters in the frame alone. Because one does not want to take the added cost of several elements being in the frame, as that would cost more. The expressions of the elements are mostly blank, and while the characters are addressing or interacting with other characters, they are either not meeting their eye line or breaking the fourth wall and talking to the camera. When Brahmadev reprimands Mahabhish, the reactions are not of genuine regret or of being upset, but lag and take 2 to 3 seconds for the elements to react. It is as if a person next to me shouts at me and I take 2 to 3 seconds to register that sound and then reply, taking the shape of wax figures coming to life rather than a compelling drama with humans. The dialogue delivery is like auto-dub versions of listening to me talking in Hindi. There are literally times where Ma Ganga is delivering dialogues like मैं तो स्वयं अपने लिए अपने अर्धांग का चयन करने आई. Distant and absolutely devoid of any depth or gravitas in dialogue delivery. Blank expressions with the most monotone delivery, speaking about the most dramatic situations. Sometimes the movement of the mouth also not syncing with the dialogues. The series wants to establish love between characters to convey to the audience that the 2 individuals are falling in love. But with the mere 4 seconds in each frame to tell the same, they are not even looking at each other. So how is one to feel anything? मैं तुमसे प्रेम करने लगी हूँ is a line that has weight, but it does not possess an iota of real emotion. Many times when I was seeing the frames of this series, I was feeling like some of the YouTube trailers that are available online, which are all AI prompts of the Mahabharat, have a better investment and output than this series. I mean, the AI prompts are so inaccurate that there are frames in which Ma Ganga is relaxing on a bed which has a nightstand with drawers. Definitely something that was not an invention during the period of the Mahabharat. The cloth in in which the babies are covered in the cradle is also of the texture of cloth towels today. There is a scene in which two people are being rescued from Ganga as they row their boats, and the movement of their rowing takes place in the opposite direction in which the boats are proceeding. The elements of animals and even water is treated like plain flat surfaces, having little to no impact to how skin reacts to such elements. So as Nandini the cow is being caressed, it is a flat surface that is being touched. As Ma Ganga submerges herself in water, the clothes do not progressively get wet, but it seems like the individual has just entered another realm. These are the textures that are just missing in this low effort slop that has been made. When King Shantanu in anger addresses Ma Ganga and says, "तुम माँ होके ऐसे कैसे कर सकती हो?" you should feel a sense of anger and dread, but its monotone delivery is consistent for the two episodes. Even the characters that have been created in this series have European features than even coming across as people from India. To show that Satyavati's father is hosting King Shantanu, a feast is presented to him, in which King Shantanu literally picks up a raw fish, and then the next prompt is him eating a morsel of something that cannot even be deciphered. The show already having no connective tissue, but even from a mere movement perspective, being edited so badly because it's just a collection of prompts versus having a screenplay, even the mere act of eating is something that is problematic, making the show and the fact that it has been greenlit a really shocking chapter of where we see art today. It's ominous and scary because it also leads me to believe that those in positions of power just do not care. When we look at the state of art, the space of streaming, and the number of compelling shows that are getting cancelled left, right, and center, then you realize that the producers are only looking at the last dollar that they are making, then backing art forms that require genuine investment. It's that we see with AI slop on Instagram too. It's the decay of art and long form storytelling and the low effort slop that is being produced with vertical streaming shows too, where things need to be so accessible for people that making compelling art also is being restricted to machines. You know, when a movie or series has put no heart, and you can realize that when the end credits of the show do not go on for minutes, but is a mere page with a few people, for it literally is just feeding information to a machine that is producing such images, and one is making minimum effort to stitch it together. I know that many people ranted and lost their minds, including me, about the content like Adipurush that really was an embarrassment in representing a sacred text like Ramayana, but I believe this is far more grave and offensive than anything I have seen in the industry in the last few years. I would urge you to not even try and attempt to watch it, because the purpose of this video is not only to deter you from watching such a sword to the eye, but also direct your attention towards genuine effort being made elsewhere. The Netflix series Kurukshetra, despite its flaws, is far superior in representing a facet of the Mahabharat than this AI slop. The 2D animation is an extension of the problems we experience with Mahavatar Narsimha, with many times the expressions of the characters somewhat missing and the characters and their facial structures being similar. In many ways, the makers being compelled to name the characters in dialogue so that we can distinguish them from other characters. However, its sole intention and attempt is far more praiseworthy than the garbage I just expanded on in the introduction of this video. The Hindi dubbing for this show specifically stands out for me, especially as the show focuses on the 18-day Kurukshetra war, laying focus with each episode on specific characters and what they experienced in the battlefield, providing context about their predicament with flashbacks. While the show can be considered in many ways to be an abridged version of the sacred text, I found it to be an engaging and compelling watch that I believe all age demographics can sit together and watch. When most things are being built dependent on algorithms and machine prompts, you can see the soul behind the work done by the Kolkata-based animation studio, High Tech Animation Studio. The revolution of animation in India is going to become a global phenomena, I believe, that people are not foreshadowing. I think on this channel we have consistently talked about how we missed when Indian film studios were genuinely investing in this genre in the late 2000s and early 2010s. Yes, the technology was in many ways lacking compared to the options available in the West, but many avid viewers believed that the consistent efforts over the years would really make India and its stories a global giant in the same regard. But this progress just halted after a point of time. The resurgence through the success of Mahavatar Narsimha this year has made people wake up, as many producers on roundtables have confessed that there was a perception within the industry that the genre of animation does not rake in box office numbers. Suddenly titles are being announced, and while the audience can sniff opportunists who are merely using AI prompts to cash in on the hype, I think they can also identify the real effort being put in to tell our tales through the same medium. The Hombale collaboration with Ashwin Kumar and clean production productions is very exciting, but I think I am even more excited on what the producers of Baahubali are attempting with their collaboration with animation studios like Adventure, Zaratan and Alkaid with Baahubali The Eternal War that dropped its teaser recently and is slated to release in 2027. The series has roped in animators who have worked on a compelling series like Arcane, integrating 3D animation whose texture in the teaser and the sheer attention to detail with the characters and the environmental elements around them has me so excited, for it is of the quality that has never been seen before in India. To have a story where Prince Baahubali after his death is in the afterlife and goes toe to toe with Lord Indra in a realm beyond mortals is so fascinating. The Baahubali spin-off as an idea itself, with an investment that is rumored to be close to 120 crores, has the potential to make waves like the Chinese animation that grossed over $2 billion worldwide. If the artistry in the animation is already on lock, a compelling screenplay cannot stop it from becoming a global phenomena. I think we often speak about how South Korea and Japan have become soft powers globally through their art forms, and I think India desperately needs to make a place for itself through the same means. Yes, we are dependent on foreign talent currently to make our stories a global event, but the reception and success of such stories will lead to more investment on homegrown talent and make this genre of animation and the gazillion stories of our heartland that we have to tell something that everyone globally looks forward to. The potential is insane. We shouldn't be stuck in these easy cash grabs of AI prompt stories, which are deservedly being called out and critiqued in the initial part of this video. Kurukshetra, Mahabharat, Narsimha and Baahubali The Eternal War are the right steps to achieve greatness in this field. It genuinely makes me giddy with excitement to think about the possibilities. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you think about these AI prompt stories and what do you think about the future of animation in India. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.